Welcome guys, Larissa Shanti here with Shanti Moves. Thank you for joining me if it's your first time. Today we are going to be going over upward facing dog, aka Urdva Mukha Shvanasana. So this pose is really great for building spinal mobility, back strength, upper body strength. It's one of the fundamental poses you'll see in a vinyasa class, and sometimes in a class you'll hear a teacher say, move through your vinyasa. And this is one of the poses in that move through your vinyasa that they're talking about. So if you're not sure what they mean when they say that, this is gonna help you, and I'll show you the rest of the moves as well. So if you'd like to join me, please join me on the mat. All right, guys, Urdva Mukha Shvanasana, aka upward dog. Here we go. So upward dog is a pose that you're going to see in a lot of different classes. It is very common when a teacher says move through your vinyasa. This is one of the three poses that they're talking about. So when a teacher is like, go ahead, move through your vinyasa, they're talking about chaturanga, upward dog, down dog, or a variation of those three. So you can do your half chaturanga, you can do your cobra instead of up dog, you can do child's pose instead of down dog. So there's many different ways we can modify to work from where we're at. So that brings me to my next thing, that I tend to see a lot of students kind of pushing themselves beyond their limits, trying to go into up dog when they don't have the integrity and the strength. And it is really important to treat your body with respect and to learn restraint. That's part of the practice, right? Learning to accept where you're at and work from where you're at. So please, I invite you to take this into your practice today when we're working with upward dogs and knowing your limits. Always taking cobra as the option instead of upward dog. With all that said, let's get to it. So we're gonna start in our tabletop because we tend to always go from chaturanga to upward dog. So we're gonna come into our plank. First, we're starting in a tabletop, then extend the left leg and then the right, coming into our plank. So nice sturdy plank, press those hands into the mat, broadening the shoulders, engagement through the heels, reaching through the crown. Take a nice deep inhale, and then exhale, come to your chaturanga. Then inhale, shift forward slightly, flip those toes, inhale, press up through the hands, lifting the heart, lifting the head. Beautiful. And then take a look at my legs here. I'm pressing through the tops of my feet to lift my legs up. And then I'm lifting my kneecaps to engage my quads. Hips are off the mat, pressing through the hands. Shoulders are coming down, so I'm really engaging the upper body here as well. Beautiful. And then something I see a lot is everybody wants to go like this. And that really kind of, crinks the back of the neck. So look forward or slightly up, just to lengthen the back of the neck a little bit. Beautiful. And then we shift back to our downward dog. Take a few breaths. And then come back down to the knees. So I'm gonna go through the transitioning a little bit more here because there's a lot going on. And it's kind of hard to talk in those poses, so I have to do it in sections, so please bear with me. First thing, how did that go for you? Take a note for yourself. Were you able to really engage the legs, lift them off the mat? Keep pressing through your hands to keep the chest nice and open. Relax the shoulders, lengthen the head. And if you felt like there wasn't something quite right, just take a cobra pose. It's all good. All right, so we're gonna do that one more time. Oh, and if you haven't done chaturanga, or the video to chaturanga with all the variations that you can do with chaturanga, then check out the video. I'll link it up here, and then come back and join us for this one, because they go together, hand in hand. Perfect. Tabletop. You can take your half plank, so just slide the knees back. Exhale, lower down to your half chaturanga, then press through the tops of the feet here as you push up into your downward dog. So that's another way we can come into our downward dog. Again, pressing through the tops of the legs, really engaging the quads, squeezing your glutes. So squeeze those butt muscles together, and that can help kind of protect our lower back. Inhale, lift the heart, pressing the shoulders down. Head is nice and long and tall. Good. Now to transition into upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Press through the hands, lift the hips, so you're really engaging the core. Send the hips back. You can look at my toes. That can be not so pleasant if you don't have very flexible feet. So you can flip a little bit earlier if you need to. But if not, just go with me on this one. Maybe shake that head yes and no while you're in your downward dog to relax the shoulders and neck. Come back down. Cool. So we'll do that one more time, just so we're kind of getting used to it. So it's good to take variations if doing the whole thing is a little bit too much. So if doing all three poses, you're way too burnt out by the third pose, modify one and then do the full version of the other like we did with that one. So I did my half plank, which saves my energy so I can do my full upward facing dog to down dog. Or you can do your full chaturanga all the way down to the mat and then just come up to your baby cobra and then back to down dog. So you can modify throughout. So you can do the full version, the strong strengthy pose or whatever, you know, through your vinyasa practice. And yeah, those are just my tips that I have for you. I hope that you take them, because learning where you're at, building from where you're at is so crucial to a healthy, long practice. Cool. Let's come to the tabletop. I'm gonna do the modified version again. So knees come back, we're coming to our half plank, sinking the hips, tailbone tucking slightly in, belly button in. Exhale all the way down to your chaturanga. Inhale, pressing up, push through the tops of the feet, open up the heart, lift the head, keep the back of the neck long. Take a nice deep inhale. And then on the exhale, push through the hands. You're kind of leaning forward as you lift the hips. Good. And then flip the feet. You can flip the feet wherever you want, but keeping those hips lifting, coming back into our downward dog. Good. Shake that head, yes and no, nice and slow. And then relax the knees down. Cool. So keeping the glutes engaged to protect that lower back, keeping the legs also engaged helps you from sinking those hips onto the floor. Pressing through the arms to lengthen the back side, so to lengthen the spine, because that's what we're really aiming for here, right? Is a nice lengthening, slight back bend of the spine, not bending the head back to kind of collapse the back side of the neck. So remember, the neck is always an extension of your spine. And then biggest takeaway, work from where you're at, right? So maybe upward dog's not for you, maybe it's Cobra still, that's okay. I'm sure you'll get there one day. I hope you found this video helpful. Please let me know if you have any questions. Thank you so much, and until the next one, namaste. And today we are bringing you Urdva Mukha Shvanasana. So it can be kind of tricky with the little cues here and there. Other not so great things. Oh man, I gotta do that again.